A little bit quirky, kind of funny, very jovial.
Warm. He was a very gracious man. He had a fantastic sense of humor. He was friends with everyone.
He was known to his friends, I think, primarily for his wit. He had a very, very sharp, a gentle wit, but a sharp wit. And he was, it was always on display, and the better you knew him, the more you enjoyed the experience.
He was very giving, very caring, incredibly generous, and full of integrity, full of honesty. Loved his friends, loved his family, loved the time he spent with all of the lawyers that he built relationships with over the years. Integrity and honesty, top of the charts. Integrity, honesty, love for his wife. Just absolutely adored Carol and always did.
He was a very upstanding man. He believed greatly in the ethics of the practice of law, but he did everything with a good sense of humor and was gracious and warm in all instances. The gatherings that he had, the Wells Christmas party for mostly for the young lawyers in the firm, but the different social events that they would sponsor at their home.
In the lawyering business, I think his greatest strength was his ethics. He was absolutely unmovable on the question of ethical behavior. And the second point was his love of humanity, I think particularly the younger people.
Paul's culture was very inclusive. As the director of, or the head of the litigation group at Procopio, he was extremely supportive of young attorneys as young attorneys came into the firm.
And doing a handshake deal on the street that ended up coming to fruition. There was no changing the deal. There was no after negotiation back and forth. He loved it when he made a deal that deal stuck.
If he's known in his law firm for anything besides quality law work and ethical behavior, it is his mentoring capacity for the young people. I think every one of them will tell you that they benefited from Paul's presence in the law firm, and that they knew his door was always open, and they frequently went through it for not only legal lessons but life lessons.
He was always insistent on everyone understanding the importance of being a lawyer, of being ethical. He was a great believer in bar activities. He was a great believer in the ethics of law. But he also instilled the importance of having a life, spending time with your family, not being a 24/7 lawyer.
If you're looking for somebody who was incredibly honest, over the top with integrity, adored his partners and associates, that was my dad for sure. I'd say his reputation was above reproach. He had a fabulous working relationship within Procopio, and he had a fabulous working relationship within the other large firms in town. I think a lot of it came from Alec Corey. Alec Corey was a wonderful man and my dad's mentor when he came here.
Not to brag, but I think UCLA is a good law school, and so he got a good legal education. He brought to it a tremendous IQ. So the nuances and the sophisticated portions of it were not lost on him. He was also a little bit older. He'd been in the Navy. He was a naval aviator, and so he had a little more maturity maybe than the average person.
My dad always treated everybody the same. Like I said, didn't matter if you were the highest ranking federal court judge in town or the brand new associate. He read to the blind at KPBS for 35 years. He volunteered at the airport. He greeted people when they came into San Diego. He was a great ambassador for San Diego. He read to the little kids down at Avocado Elementary School down here for 30 years. As a matter of fact, when we're done here, I'm going down to read to the kids today, all these kindergarten kids.
He was a wonderful man, and he believed in the importance of the Bar Association. He believed in the importance of passing on to young lawyers lessons that could be learned from those who came before. The Distinguished Lawyer Memorial embodies that.
His ethics were exemplary, and that's something that rubs off on young people if you practice it. If you don't practice it, you can teach it all day long and they won't listen. But if you lead by example, as Paul did, he became well known in the bar for his willingness and his ability to fight fiercely but fairly. The best thing that he did for the profession was to teach the young people, remind them of right from wrong, and teach them in the ways that you should act in front of the court in the public's eye.